Hey everyone, it's Hayden from NYC Concert News, and today I'm sitting down with Isitjosh just before his show at Mercury Lounge tonight. So excited to be chatting with him because he just dropped his first full-length album, and we're excited to hear it. Isitjosh, thank you for sitting with me today
absolutely.
and chatting.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. You excited for tonight?
I am. I'm very excited.
Nice.
Yeah. Anytime I get a chance to play New York City, I'm happy.
Have you done the Mercury Lounge before?
I have 2 years ago. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the vibe's any different today, or are you like bringing a whole new energy? Or?
Bringing a whole new energy because of the full length. And last time we played the late show. Mercury does 2 shows a day, and this time we're playing the early show.
Oh.
So just making sure that the crowd's feeling that energy, even though it's 5:30. You know.
5:30 on a Sunday. It's hard to like bring that energy, but I think based on everything I've heard and seen online, I think you can bring it.
I'm gonna try. Yeah.
Awesome. So I got a couple questions for you today that we'll chat through, and I'm excited to just kind of get to know you more. First question: you started out as a drummer. What led you to start your solo career and drop your first solo album?
Yeah, I started at 10 as a drummer because Jackson 5 and the Hanson Brothers. I saw all these kids playing drums. So I drummed in bands up until I was about 19, and as I did that, I kept singing more and more harmonies in the bands I was singing in. And then I found that I just fell in love with melodies and phonetics and things. And all these bands that I started singing in started finding success, but then COVID hit. Right when we got 1 million streams on a single, and the band broke up, and then I went viral on TikTok with a little luck. And just spun it right back into a solo career. Yeah, so
it's the dream of the 2020s now. You go viral on TikTok, you get a solo career.
Yeah, I'm in my 30s. I thought it was over.
Oh my God.
And so I was in the corporate world, and I got lucky, and here I am.
God, that's like a dream for everyone in the corporate world. Like, hopefully you like break out and start living your dream. All right, so you grew up in Omaha, and now you're living in Philly. Do you feel like your background living in Omaha and then moving to Philly has really influenced your sound?
Yes, 100%. I actually grew up a little bit outside of Omaha, and I say Omaha because it's just, Nebraska's not a well-known for their geography, you know. So I grew up on a chicken ranch, and that's where a lot of like the alternative comes from. Like there's a banjo on the album, and people are like, where is that from? You know. But no, yeah, I grew up in that Saddle Creek era, Cursive, Bright Eyes, and stuff. So I was really exposed to emo very young.
Oh, nice.
You know, and then coming to Philly, and like the scene here is more pop punk and hardcore and things like that. So I'm really trying to like cut my teeth in Philly now that I've cut my teeth in Omaha for 20 years, you know, finding the pulse on the city and things like that.
It's so interesting, like the shift from like, I'm guessing Omaha was a lot more like Midwest emo, and now this like East Coast emo is seeing like this huge revival, and there's like so many of these like small bands popping up. Do you have any like favorites that you've met so far in the scene?
Absolutely, yeah. Cheer Up Dusky. Shout out Cheer Up Dusky. And Daisy Doom.
Daisy Doom,
Yeah,
nice.
Daisy
Great band. 18 tracks is no small feat for a first album.
I know.
How'd you decide on that? How'd you land on 18?
We basically wrote these songs over the course of, you know, like almost 2 years. And I'm not on a label, and I can kind of do whatever I want. And we found that it was very hard for people to binge me, because if you went to my Spotify, it was like a single, an EP, a single. And I was like, you know what? Let's just make a discography here. We're not cutting anything. You know, like songs like Watching Anime is a spoken word song. And Down Bad is just like a funny song about me simping over an Instagram model. You know what I mean?
As we all do.
Yeah, and because a label would have cut those, I think I was more like headstrong into being like, no, they're all staying. Let's, you know.
Yeah.
These all have a story.
And I'm so glad you did, because Down Bad is the song that I think I know most of yours.
Oh,
and it was on my release radar. That's how I found you. I was like, wow, so I'm glad you kept it. So 18 tracks is a lot. And you said you did it over 2 years. Is there a certain track that had just changed so much in that time from when you had started thinking about it to when it finally released?
Yeah, Life of the Party. It's almost like a future-based emo song. It's very strange. But we just couldn't really figure out what we wanted to do with it, because it's a lot of like vocal chops and stuff like that. And my producer Comfort really locked in on figuring out like how we can do my vocal chops and make them sound good. And so we made that hook, and I couldn't figure out the second verse to save my life. And my friend Junior Graves came in and featured on it. And he's one of my favorite Omaha artists. So, and a good friend, so it was just nice. And so next thing you know, we had a new singer on there, and we're going back and forth, and it was my first time really like ad-libbing with an R&B singer, you know? So
yeah, and you're bringing that like hometown flavor into like what you're creating now.
He's got these beautiful like like run, and I'm just like, and we'll do it again. You know,
just like the play on it is so good.
It's cool, yeah. So that's the one for sure.
If someone had to listen to one song, they only had time to listen to one song on their way to the show tonight, what song do you think they should listen to?
Just Tell Me. It's personally my favorite because it kicks off the album, and it's when I was in a really kind of sassy dating headspace, but still kind of getting my heart broken a little bit. And it just gives that vibe that I really bring to the stage too. You know what I mean? It's just, it's catchy, but it's also just a little sassy, a little emo, a little whiny. It's got all the parts that I love. Yeah.
Oh, it's like the perfect cocktail on your way here.
It is, yeah.
You're like walking the streets, feeling a little sassy, feeling a little out there.
Is this a happy song? Because it sounds happy, but what he's singing sounds really sad. You know? Hey, that's one of my favorite things to do is write sad lyrics over happy music.
Oh, and that's the best, because who can't relate to that?
I know, right?
What song are you most excited to perform live tonight?
Feel Low is always a big one. And because that one has some crowd interaction, some what? And I always see if I can get the crowd to do it. And when they lock in, it's so fun. And there's, you know, a lot of times I'll just jump off the stage and go dance with them if they're into it, because there's a long Moog solo we have in there, like a synth solo. And I'll go out there, and even if the crowd's not moving, I'll use that as a chance to be like, you guys want to see how to dance? And I'll run out there and I'll spin them around and jump back up on the stage. So that one's always the most fun.
That's one way to start the pit. Start the pit yourself.
I'll do it myself if they're not moving.
That's truly incredible. So we're going to do a first, last, next. So what was your first concert? What was your last concert? And what's your next concert?
My first real concert that like I didn't go to with my dad at like a church, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was a free concert in Omaha, and it was Incubus.
Whoa,
yeah.
Free?
I think it was like Incubus and 311.
Oh my God.
And it was like 311's hometown show. I was like 13, I think, you know? And then after that, it was basements of churches watching those Screamo Battle of the Bands, like Devil Wears Prada style bands, you know?
Yes.
And then last concert was Arm's Length in Philly.
Love
one of my
that
favorite
band.
bands. Shout out Arm's Length, yeah.
Shout out Arm's Length for sure.
Yeah, shout out Arm's Length. And up next is Anthony Green's solo show.
Nice. Oh my God, what a good range of artists that you see.
Yeah. I'm lucky in Philly how many artists come through.
It's a great spot for tours, like so many good shows coming through and so many good bands that are just like popping into town. It's like, all right, we're doing a show tonight. So you've gone viral on TikTok. You've got a lot of views, a lot of followers now. What's the most meaningful or inspiring DM that you've gotten from someone?
Oh, great question. You know, I get a lot of those like, hey, you know, your music saved me, or these lyrics saved me. But honestly, you know, I'm very open about my mental health. I think I'm a mental health advocate, and I would find myself a fraud if I only posted the good. And, you know, I did post something where I let all my followers and fans know, like, guys, I'm really struggling. And it was the DMs that came in from that, where they were just checking in and being like, hey, we see you. We hear you. You're doing great. And I needed that at the time. And so it was less about like what I had offered someone and more like they were offering me something back. And that's why I was like, wow, okay, I have a really great community and they're so nice, you know?
Yeah,
so.
It's the community aspect that's like the best, because it's like you're making music, so you're being heard, but being seen is something that's like so special that I feel like we haven't had much in the past, and as social media continues to grow, the like access to the artist to be like, oh my God, I'm going through that too. Like you saved me, and now I'm here to save you, kind of thing.
And I try to stay very accessible. Like I have a Discord, you know, with the Gloom Squad is what I call them. And yeah, I never want to be that brooding musician who goes and hides in the green room. Like you can catch me saying hi to everyone throughout the show, making sure everyone feels seen and heard. If they want a picture, an autograph, or something, I'll be out there. So.
So when you play MSG, I expect to see you in the pit. When you're opening at MSG, I can't wait to see you there.
I'm jumping off and I'm starting going.
Talking with everybody. Let's go. So I've got one last question for you, and you kind of mentioned this album is a lot about your growth and the journey over the last few years. So I think I had seen that somewhere about your relationship and breaking up and getting through that. Do you think your ex has seen, or any of the people that you had gone on dates with, do you think they've seen or heard this album?
Yes, and as I was releasing the songs, it was funny because I was still dating this girl, and like I would release a song and just she'd be like, "What's that about?" And then, you know, I wouldn't know what to say. But no, yeah, she probably has, and it's probably fueled her main character energy even more.
Oh yeah. Could you imagine having like a hate album written about you?
Right, but whatever. It gave me writing material.
Exactly, and that's where the best material comes from.
Yeah, I don't like to make up stories. Every single song you hear on this record is a real story.
And that's why it feels so authentic. And it's like, not only does it sound incredible, it's relatable.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel where he's coming from.
Yeah, and I get a lot of those comments just like, oh my God, I feel like this is written about me. And I'm like, it's very narrative and specific, but that's wild and cool that you relate.
Literally, the narrative in specific is so funny. It's like, wow, I guess there is truly no unique human experience.
Literally.
We're all living the same lives.
Absolutely.
Is there anything that you want to let the fans know, like any messages about tonight's show or upcoming tours, concerts? Anything?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say, don't look at follower counts. Look at the artists, and if you like the music, support it. And know that that stuff doesn't translate. And even people like me who have so many followers, like every single one of you matters when it comes to the actual music, So giving those streams, sharing the music and things like that helps so much, more than you might know. So,
awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Today we chatted with Isitjosh, and you can find all his music on
Spotify, anywhere you find music. Is it Josh? Like the question, am I Josh? Go find out.
Go find out. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.